It's 4:12 a.m. on the 17th of November 2025. In the southern Caribbean, a quiet night snaps in half when a low metallic roar rolls across the water. Radar operators in Curaçao and along the Venezuelan coast all look up at the same second because the signal on their screens drops fast, too fast. A US Air Force C-130 Hercules call sign Razor 21 is losing altitude with smoke pouring from two engines. Inside the cockpit, the crew sends the message no one wants to hear. Mayday, mayday. Hydraulic pressure lost on two engines, requesting emergency landing. The pilot sounds calm, but the tension pushes through every word. From the shoreline, the aircraft looks like a burning shadow trying to stay alive in the air. Its landing gear is already down, far too early for a normal landing. Behind it, 2F divided by A-18 seconds race in from high altitude. Lights off, escorting the Hercules like silent guardians. At this speed and height, one wrong move sends the aircraft into the sea. The crew knows it, the escorts know it, everyone watching radar knows it. And now the whole region waits for the answer to one brutal question. Will Razor 21 survive the next 30 seconds? The reason this moment hits so hard is simple. A C-130 does not fall from the sky in the middle of the Caribbean without shaking the entire region. The Southern Caribbean is one of the busiest surveillance zones in the hemisphere. Every radar, every patrol aircraft, every coastal station runs around the clock. When something this big fails, everyone sees it at the same time. And when it is a US military aircraft dropping altitude near Venezuela, the stakes jump instantly. The Hercules is the backbone of American logistics. It carries people, supplies, and equipment into areas where larger aircraft cannot reach. When it sends a mayday, something serious has gone wrong. The fact that Razor 21 was flying close to Venezuelan airspace makes the situation even more tense. For Venezuelan defense operators, it looked like an unregistered military aircraft losing control near their coastline. For the US crews watching from Curaçao, it looked like a race against time to save both the aircraft and whatever it was carrying. This airspace is sensitive. Lines are thin. One bad read on radar can trigger a scramble of fighter jets from both sides. One misunderstood radio call can turn an emergency into a confrontation. That is why the region holds its breath when something like this happens. Both sides know how fast a simple emergency can turn into a political storm. And if you're watching this and feel the tension between the two countries closing in around that falling Hercules, press 1 or 9 inches the comments, so I know you see how dangerous this moment really was. For the crew inside Razor 21, none of that mattered. Their world had shrunk to a cockpit filled with alarms, shaking metal, and a runway that might be too far away. But for everyone else watching the radar screens, this was not just another flight in trouble. It was a possible spark in one of the most fragile military zones in the Americas. The first clear warning shows at 4:18 a.m. On the main radar in Curaçao, the C-130 drops fast through 10,000 feet. The heat plume is uneven, and the blip shakes on the screen. To the radar team, it means the crew is fighting the controls hard. One operator mutters, "If it keeps falling like that, it won't reach the runway." Above the water, the 2F divided by A-18 seconds close in behind Razor 21. From the cockpit, the damaged engines glow orange through the smoke. Razor 21, we're on your 6, the Hornet pilot calls. You're trailing heavy smoke. The Hercules pilot answers, "Copy. Control stiff. Losing hydraulics. Need runway lights now." On the ground, fire trucks roll out and medics wait by the far end of the strip. Inside the C-130, the descent gets rough. Panels shake. Warning tones repeat. The loadmaster checks the cargo, making sure nothing shifts as the aircraft shakes harder. In the cockpit, the pilot grips the yoke with both hands, pushing against fading hydraulic pressure. Each move feels heavier than the last. Across the water, Venezuelan radar picks up the falling aircraft. In Puerto Cabello, the operator calls his commander. Possible US Hercules losing altitude near our boundary. No ID. They shift to alert status, but stay cautious. A wrong move now could turn an emergency into something far worse. Back inside the Hercules, the co-pilot calls out altitudes. 6,000, 5,000, 4,000. The aircraft drops again, harder this time. The pilot forces the nose steady. When the runway lights appear through the dark, they look small, but they are the only hope left. The F divided by A 18 seconds widen formation, giving the Hercules room to line up. They stay close in case Razor 2-1 suddenly rolls or loses lift. On radar screens from Curaçao to the Venezuelan coast, operators watch in silence. One wrong drift could be read as a threat. The Hercules passes 3,000 feet. Fire crews brace. Radar techs stop talking. The pilot holds the yoke tight, fighting the last bit of control he has. If he overshoots the first part of the runway, there won't be enough distance to stop. And if you can feel how close this moment is to turning from rescue into confrontation, press 1 or 9 inches the comments so I know you understand how thin the line truly is. The runway is straight ahead now. The next seconds will decide everything. The final approach should have been simple, but nothing about Razor 2-1 is simple tonight. At 4:22 a.m., the Hercules hits a violent pocket of turbulence and drops hard. The pilot feels the yoke jump as the co-pilot calls. Stabilizer struggling, pressure still falling. He keeps his eyes locked on the runway. Hold it steady, we're going in. On the ground, emergency crews watch the aircraft drift left, then snap back. From their distance, the engines sound uneven. One firefighter mutters, if they slide again, they'll miss it. Everyone knows that a crash this close to fuel trucks would turn the whole ramp into a firestorm. Above, the 2F divided by A-18 seconds descend lower, holding formation. Razor 2-1, you're drifting right. Correct 2 degrees, the Hornet pilot warns. The Hercules wobbles, then slowly realigns with the runway lights. Another cockpit alarm shrieks, hydraulic pressure critical. The pilot wipes sweat from his eyes and grips the yoke with everything he has. Across the water, Venezuelan radar tracks the instability. One operator notes, altitude shifting, aircraft unsteady. For a second, the drift reads like a maneuver. A technician hovers over the alert switch, but the commander cuts him off. Do not escalate! They all know how easily this moment could turn into something far worse. At 2,000 feet, the pilot lowers the nose. The runway stretches out ahead like the only place that won't kill them. The aircraft sinks into ground effect, shaking violently. Brace, the pilot orders. The loadmaster grabs a bulkhead. The co-pilot locks his hands on the seat. Touchdown is brutal. The left wheel smashes the runway, throwing sparks. The Hercules bounces, hits again, and finally holds. Brakes scream as the aircraft skids forward, leaving a glowing trail. The F divided by A-18 seconds circle once, watching the transport grind to a halt. Razor 2-1 finally stops. Smoke pours from the wheels as fire crews rush in. The escort pilots bank back toward the dark sky, still unsure what they just witnessed. And if you felt how this landing almost flipped from rescue into crisis, press 1 or 9, so I know you caught that tension right where it mattered. The moment the Hercules stops, everyone expects relief. Instead, the night shifts again. Before fire crews reach it, a Black Hawk appears from the north, flying low with no lights, moving like it has been waiting for Razor 2-1. Helicopters don't arrive this fast unless the mission was set long before touchdown. Firefighters slow as armed personnel jump out before the rotor settles. These aren't rescue teams. Dark gear, tight movements, everything built for fast, secure work. One signals, and within seconds, 2 sealed cases are pulled from the Hercules and loaded onto the Black Hawk. The speed is unreal. Airfield security can't react. Every step feels rehearsed, timed to the second. In the tower, the supervisor watches through binoculars. This isn't a standard emergency, he mutters. And he's right. A normal response would be loud and messy. This one is silent, precise, prearranged. On the ramp, the crew trades uneasy looks, unsure whether to step closer or stay back. Across the water, Venezuelan radar teams see something strange. The C-130 signal flickers, not from altitude, but interference. One operator whispers, "Electronic cover." The meaning is clear. Something is being hidden. Back on the ground, the Black Hawk lifts off minutes after landing, cases strapped in. Whatever Razor 2-1 carried, it was important enough to move instantly. The Hercules crew stands by the aircraft, exhausted but alert, eyes on the sky. No one talks. No one leaves the cargo door. And if you're wondering what kind of cargo gets pulled out before the smoke even clears, press 1 or 9 so I know you felt that turn. The strange part is, the night isn't done yet. The Black Hawk disappears into the dark, but the tension on the runway keeps climbing. Razor 2-1 sits smoking and silent, metal still shaking from the hard landing. The crew barely steps off the ramp when 3 armored vehicles roll in with their lights off. Their engines move with calm purpose. This is not rescue, this is coordination. The pilot meets a senior officer near the wing. Their exchange lasts only seconds, but it's enough to shift the pilot's posture from shaken to mission-focused. He signals his team. The cargo bay opens again. This time, the crew brings out a long, heavy container marked only with a single red stripe. No labels, no numbers. The armored team loads it fast, smooth, and quiet. Even the firefighters hesitate, unsure if they should step closer or stay back. Up in the tower, the supervisor watches through binoculars. The whole scene looks too clean, too organized. "This isn't an accident response," he mutters. "This was prepared." No one argues. Everyone sees it. Across the water, Venezuelan radar teams detect a new echo above Curaçao. At first it looks like noise, then the system tags it. An airborne early warning aircraft. "Possible E3, the operator says. The commander stiffens. An E3 at this hour means the entire airspace is under tight American control. For Venezuela, that is a message on its own. Back on the ground, Razor 2-1 finally powers down. The sudden silence feels heavy. A radio call cuts through it. Transport secure. Cargo moving. The armored vehicles head toward a large hangar at the far end of the base. The Hercules crew follows behind them, tired but focused. Whatever this mission is, it didn't end with the landing. Above the island, the 2F divided by A 18 seconds make one last sweep. One pilot spots a faint shimmer on his radar near the coast. "Possible interference spike," he calls. The tower answers fast. "Copy. Tracking." Both sides know that interference can mean someone else is watching. At the hangar, the doors slide open. The convoy rolls inside. The red striped container disappears into the shadows as the doors close behind it. The night returns to silence, but the tension does not. The pilot of Razor 2-1 stares at the hangar for a long second and says quietly, "This mission isn't over." When the hangar doors close, the airfield goes quiet, but no one relaxes. Razor 2-1 cools on the tarmac, smoke fading into the early light. Ground crews begin inspections, yet they can tell something is different. A landing this rough should bring repair teams. Instead, it brings silence and security. Inside the control tower, phones ring non-stop. Command wants logs, radio clips, radar files, everything. The supervisor sends his team moving fast. He knows this pattern. When higher command demands data this quickly, the emergency wasn't the main event. It was the doorway to something else. Across the water, Venezuela stays alert. Radar stations monitor Curaçao closely. Rumors spread about a sealed container, a fast extraction, maybe an intelligence mission. No one confirms anything, but everyone knows Hercules aircraft don't drop into the Caribbean smoking unless something serious forced them down. By sunrise, satellite images show more movement near the hangar. Trucks rotate in and out. Personnel shift with calm, practiced steps. Civilian pilots even report short GPS glitches, the kind caused by electronic shielding. Whatever sits inside that hangar, it's being protected from eyes on the ground and in the sky. Any reporter who calls the base gets the same answer. Technical emergency. Crew safe. Nothing more. It shuts questions down immediately. The Hercules crew heads into debrief rooms, uniforms still marked with hydraulic fluid. They look exhausted but focused. They know the landing was only one part of the mission. In Washington, Analysts update quiet internal notes. A dangerous landing. A sealed transfer. No leaks. The message is clear. The US can react fast and operate even when the situation is falling apart. It's a signal to partners and to rivals watching from a distance. And if you followed every step and felt how each move carried more weight than the last, press 1 or 9 inches the comments so I know you caught the real impact behind Razor 21's landing. The container is hidden now, but the ripple has already started. The mission didn't end on the runway, it began there.